Hey guys, Nick here and welcome back to another video. And today I want to talk about gimbals. So gimbals are considered an essential piece of kit when it comes to creating videos, whether that's filmmaking or for corporate videos. It can be really handy to get stable footage, and that's what they do. I'm assuming if you've clicked on this video, you're kind of coming in knowing that already. Now, the market these days is saturated with different options, but the big three right now that have been released within the past sort of 12 months are the Ronin S, Moza Air 2, and the Weebill Lab. Now, these three have been very popular with indie filmmakers in particular, just because they are relatively affordable. You know, they're still expensive, but they are relatively affordable, and you can get very good results from these gimbals. So I have the Ronin S right here. It has been out for almost a year, probably like 8 months now, and it was considered incredible by everyone at the time. However, when comparing it to the other two, the Moza Air 2 and the Weebill Lab, we're gonna kind of keep the Weebill Lab in here because they're all in a similar price point. The Ronin S was just priced, it was just a little bit more expensive. Currently at US prices, it's about $750 for the Ronin S. The Moza Air 2 comes in at like $550, and the Weebill Lab is around about the same, $550 to $560, depending on where you're looking. So you can see there's a $200 premium in going with the Ronin S. Now, none of these companies are really new to creating gimbals. Zhiyun has been making them for years. Moza, again, has been making gimbals for quite a while. And DJI, although this is sort of their first foray into sort of like a one-handed gimbal, they have been making larger gimbals for a while, for a little bit as well. So why would you choose the DJI Ronin S over the other two? Well, if you'd asked me at the beginning of the year, I would have said you shouldn't, right? Because quite frankly, the other two are very, very good. They're cheaper. You're gonna save money and you get similar results. However, quite recently, within the past roughly month or so, there has been a new addition to the Ronin S lineup, and that is the Ronin S Essentials Kit. And essentially, what it is just sort of like a stripped down package of the Ronin S. You still get the exact same gimbal, plate, and everything like that comes with it, but you miss out on a few of the things like the follow focus that comes with it and a couple other things here and there. But it's the exact same thing. However, it comes in at $579 US, so priced pretty much the same, as near as makes no difference, as the other two. So it becomes a much more enticing option to those of you out there buying gimbals. So how do you choose between them now that they're more or less within the same price range, give or take $50 here or there? Quite frankly, if you want something that's really light and compact, you have the Weebill Lab. Now, there are a few downsides to it. Now, it does support 3 kilograms of weight, which is around 6.5 pounds-ish. So it's gonna hold pretty much any mirrorless or DSLR on the market with a 24-70, but just because of the way the motors are positioned, you're gonna lose a little bit of range of motion because you're gonna have to have that camera right back if it's at that top end of that sort of weight. And so you're not gonna get the full range of motion from that gimbal. It is definitely the most portable. It has the shortest battery life, 6 to 10 hours, and the lowest payload. But again, the travel filmmakers, I would go for that. The motors lock up and it can pack away very, very nicely. So that sort of, you know, for people with bigger setups, leaves you with the Ronin S and the Moza Air 2. Now, I've been testing the Ronin S for a few months and I've had it on one professional shoot so far, and I did really like it. It charges via USB-C, which is great. All my things charge via USB-C now. The battery just slides straight off the grip, which makes it, you know, great to swap in and out. You don't have to deal with any of those fiddly little batteries that come with other gimbals. There's a few complaints I have here and there. The joystick, I think, sucks. It's just a bit too small for my thumb, and I found that I'd just be whoop, whoop, just moving it way too much. And the biggest downside compared to the Moza Air 2, because in terms of payloads, the Moza Air 2 takes more, but they're similar, right? You know, not a lot of us are carrying around a 4.5 kilo camera, which is what the Moza Air can handle. But what the Moza Air 2 has that the Ronin S doesn't, and I didn't think it was like a big deal at first, but it kind of a big deal. The fact that the Moza Air 2 is easier to move with you due to the fact that some of the motors lock, allowing it to, well, travel safer, and you know, it's just easy to put in bags and stuff like that. Whereas the Ronin S, like, This is currently set up in the position for my Nikon Z6, and you can see like it bangs around. So if I want to pack it, I got to move this up, and it still spins around. And this is, you know, it's quite frankly scary to move around with it, because you know, you break those motors and you're kind of screwed. So you sort of have to carry around with a hard shell case, and then that becomes a bit of a hassle, and it's just in general a bit of a pain. Looks wise, the Moza Air 2 and the Ronin S, very, very similar, right? You could, you know, without the logos on them, you might not be able to tell them apart. When deciding with the gimbal these days, I think the Moza Air 2 is the best value for money. $5.99 at B&H, so it's a little bit more expensive than the Essentials kit for the Ronin S. It's about the same price as the Weebill Lab, but you're gonna get way more versatility out of the Moza Air 2. The Weebill Lab would be my runner-up pick if you are more of a travel filmmaker and portability is important. I'm really looking forward to getting one of those in soon to try out to see if I can make it work with the Nikon Z6. I have a feeling it might not, but if it does, fantastic, because that thing is so light and portable, it's crazy. And the Ronin S, it is a fantastic gimbal. Don't get me wrong, the app is great, the functionality is great, but unfortunately, compared to what else is on the market right now in that sort of price category, it's just not quite hitting the mark as the rest, which is a shame, because it is a great gimbal. And not to say that if you have a Ronin S, you haven't made a great decision. It's just that, you know, if you're looking right now, I would go with the Moza Air 2. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned a little bit something here. Maybe you didn't, I don't know. Subscribe if you want to see more videos dealing with a lot of camera tech, a lot of tutorials. Going to be delving into some Lightroom and Photoshop soon, so that's going to be pretty exciting. And until the next video, guys, see ya.